Welcome back everybody to another episode of the GC Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula, and today catching up on a little bit of news because yesterday, by the time I'd have got around to recording, almost nothing had happened. So yeah, that's why there was no news video yesterday, but today, more news is a-coming. We'll start by just talking about a set of releases set to come out in the next year or two that have been announced in the last day or two. So let's start with the next game by the developers of FTL Faster Than Light. For those of you who somehow don't know what that game is, FTL Faster Than Light was a strategy game based in space where you have to fly a ship over to warn the Imperial, well not the Imperials, the Republic about a rebellion, although you kind of missed the chance to do that. And you have to fight a rebel flagship at the end. Lots of really tense combat, really good game, amazing. And this game isn't a sequel to that, but it is in the same vein. This is actually turn-based in its combat, as opposed to FTL's sort of pseudo turn-based, mash the spacebar to pause kind of combat. But it is also a grid-based thing, and it's a sci-fi mech thing. It looks really interesting, like a very weird, simplistic art style, but it's something that really appeals to me. It's coming out at the end of February, really not far away. I'd not heard much about this game, but from the screenshots that I've seen, looks pretty damn interesting. Call of Duty's next game, while I'm not personally a Call of Duty fan, I know that quite a lot of people are, that's why it sells so much. Call of Duty's next game, the one that will come out this year, is pretty much confirmed by all but Activision to be Black Ops 4. This was confirmed by several anonymous sources. They're just backed up all over the place. They're saying that Treyarch have been working on a sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which to some people was the last sort of good one. I'm really out of my territory here because I'm not a Call of Duty player. I don't know the quality of the games, like based on like game to game, how good they are. I just know that it's not really my kind of thing. And yeah, to some people this might be the best news they'll hear all year, and to some people this might just be the worst. But anyway, that's the thing. The next Call of Duty probably going to be Black Ops 4. And finally, the most far off release is a sequel to The Surge, which is called, appropriately, The Surge 2. For those of you who don't know what The Surge is, it was released last year and it was basically a sci-fi Dark Souls inspired game, and it did get positive reception upon release, but I think a lot of people gave it heavy criticism for leaning far too much on the whole Dark Souls model in terms of how it actually plays and doing quite a few things wrong. But anyway, it's obviously been received well enough and sold well enough to get a sequel, which will be coming out in March 2019. While we don't know anything about it at all, because, you know, it's just been announced, we just know that it'll follow the plot of The Surge. So if you enjoyed the first game, then, you know, got some good news for you. There'll be a second one next year. The second bit of news for today is not release-based. Well, it is actually. It's all release-based at the moment, but this is more interesting to me, so it's getting its own little section. Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, released on PS4 last year to rave reviews and to huge sales figures, which is amazing. There's been rumours for a while of a PC port. Like, this has been going on since like October, November time. There have been rumours of this, but over the last week, there has been a resurgence in these rumours because several sources have quoted a PC port and a Switch port being in development, along with a new Crash Bandicoot game, whether it's a remaster or just a brand new game, to come out in 2019. What we have found out now, though, a lot of people didn't know this, the source of the original rumour that has come out this week for the PC port and the Switch port is actually from a licensing magazine called, it's just called Licensing Magazine Europe, something along those lines. If I'm wrong, I'll put in some text to correct myself. Anyway, it's a weird licensing magazine, and it is just about what it says. It's in its spring issue, and they go through all of the new things that have been licensed that month. I think they break it down into categories as well, and of course this must interest some people because it exists as a magazine. So that is a weird source to come from. Normally it comes from developers, and I'm quite interested to see that if this is true. I really want to see the Insane Trilogy on PC or Switch. I want to see everything on the Switch or the PC, mostly because those are the two that I own, but they're also both really good. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the GC Informer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, subscribe, or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, along with a link to our Discord where you can join in some chats with us and members of the public. We're also hiring for several people in several different roles, so if you're interested in becoming a member, then please get in touch with us. We have a little tab in our Discord now telling you what kind of people we're looking for in what positions. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time for more news.